In just one pivotal chapter of Great Expectations, Charles Dickens does something incredible. He doesn't just write a love story. No, he engineers an obsession. Today we're going to break down the intense psychological pressure that gets placed on Pip and how love itself gets twisted into, well, a weapon.
And boom, it all kicks off with this chilling command. It's just one line, but the way it's delivered with this disturbing, passionate eagerness, it sets the stage for all the pain that follows. This is not a suggestion, folks. It's a terrifying order.
So, where does this all start? Well, the chapter begins with Pip visiting his benefactor, the, let's just say, eccentric Miss Havisham. But you gotta understand, this is no ordinary social call. Not at all. It's an ambush of the heart.
And the intimacy of this moment, it is absolutely key. Picture this. Miss Havisham draws Pip's head right down close to hers, creating this super intense, almost conspiratorial vibe. And it's right there, in that private, creepy space, that she delivers her strange and binding instruction.
She whispers this over and over and over again. And that repetition is everything. It transforms love from a natural feeling into a relentless, drilled-in duty. Pip doesn't have a choice in the matter anymore. He has a mission. And right here, we get a peek into Miss Havisham's cold, twisted logic. To her, Estella isn't really a person. She's an investment, an instrument created for one single purpose, to be loved, and by extension, to break hearts. And Pip? Well, he's just been commanded to be the very first victim of that plan. Okay, so after Pip basically escapes this fever dream of Sadie House, he does the smart thing. He seeks out the one voice of reason in his life, his friend, Herbert, and their conversation is the perfect, sane counterpoint to Miss Havisham's mania. And man, the contrast between them is just so stark. You've got Pip making this grand, emotional confession, and Herbert just responds with this calm, matter-of-fact acceptance. He sees what Pip is completely blind to. This isn't some big surprise, it's a painfully obvious train wreck in the making.
This is where Herbert tries to be the good friend, right? He gives Pip this crucial warning. He's basically begging him to think logically about Estella's upbringing and what she's been made into. He's pleading with him to just detach himself before it's too late. But it is already too late. Pip's reply is just so absolute, there's no room for debate here. He feels completely trapped by this obsession, unable to even consider his friend's wise counsel. The command has been accepted. The programming is complete.
And then, just as Herbert's warning is still ringing in his ears, the obsession is given a face and a name. Estella herself arrives in London, and suddenly, this fantasy becomes dangerously real. Even the note she sends is so telling. It's not some friendly, hey, I'm in town. It's formal, almost like a business summons. She even says, I write in obedience to it. Think about that. She's just following orders, exactly like Pip is.
So Pip rushes off to meet her. And for just a moment, it's exactly as he dreamed it would be. He sees her face in the window, waving, and she's more beautiful than ever. But the actual reality of their meeting is, well, it's pretty unsettling.
And we get this line that is just pure, chilling foreshadowing. In the instant he sees her, a sense of dread, this nameless shadow flickers through him. It's like he knows, on some deep subconscious level, that this path is headed somewhere dark.
So when Pip asks about her plans, Estella lays them out like a series of programmed instructions. Listen to the language here. She will be taken, be introduced, be shown. There is no I will or I want. She's simply an object being moved into position on a chessboard.
Pip is so struck by her detachment that he actually says it to her face. Her lack of connection to her own life is just shocking, and it reveals how she, just like Pip, is a pawn in Miss Havisham's game. Neither of them has any real agency of their own. So after this strange, really detached meeting, Pip takes Estella to her new home in Richmond, and that's when the emotional reality of his situation finally comes crashing down on him.
He drops her off, she gives him her hand and a quick smile, and then, poof, she's gone. The brief excitement is over and Pip is left all alone in that carriage with nothing but the consequences of his obsession.
And this is the immediate outcome. Not joy, not hope, but a bad heartache. The chapter ends right there, on that note of pain, showing the direct emotional cost of being commanded to love someone who was literally engineered to be incapable of loving back.
And so we're left with this question, right? After seeing the command, the warning, and the inevitable result, we have to ask, when love is a command and its object is a stranger, is heartache the only possible outcome? Could this story have ever been destined to end any other way?